United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everybody. Do we have any citizen statements or petitions anybody would like to make? All right, the only correspondence, and I'm gonna paraphrase it, was an email that was sent to everybody on the Mendon, Mass email distribution list, and it was a message from the town clerk for all elected officials, appointed officials, volunteers, and employees that last year or earlier this year, there was a new ethics training course rolled out by the Commonwealth. And everyone who is involved in a municipal government has to sign a yearly acknowledgement and has to take this new training biannually. And I'm going to go through these. There are a few agenda items, quite a few we're going to pass over, and the appointments that are actually listed for the 1 year and 3 year appointments are going to be passed over simply because we don't have a list of exactly who has signed the acknowledgements and who hasn't. And we're going to hold off on the appointments till we have that list, just as we did it last year. This is just a message to everybody. Should have gotten the email. There is a link to take the training and to do the acknowledgement. So I just ask everybody to make sure they get that done. And we'll have an updated list so that in 2 weeks or at our next meeting, I think it's July 5th, we'll be doing those appointments. But so that's the only correspondence we have. We're going to pass over the transfer of 50 Milford Street. Next is consider purchase approval of the Paddock property. Everybody may recall that at town meeting, and I can actually read, Article 29 was voted to transfer $990,000 from community preservation accounts to purchase fund the purchase of property 73 Providence Street in Mendon. It is the purview of the select board to decide to make that purchase. So I'd be looking for a motion to authorize town council to negotiate the purchase and sale agreement as written.
I move to authorize town council to negotiate a purchase and sale agreement for the property consisting of 7375 Providence Street in accordance of Article 29, which passed at the May 5th, 2023 annual town meeting.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That was easy. Next, consider appointment election warden, Lee Martin. I see Lee Martin is here. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Would you like to say anything or? All right. All right. I'm looking for a motion.
I move to appoint Lee Martin to election warden for a term to expire on June 30th, 2024.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right. Number 7, which is discuss with the Board of Health, the Board of Health agent position. There's still some background information going on, so we're going to pass that over until the next meeting. Next, consider appointment municipal hearings officer Ellen Agro. I'd be looking for a motion.
I move to appoint Ellen Agro as the municipal hearings officer for a 1-year term that will expire on 6/30/24.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. As I just stated a few minutes ago, items 9 and 10, which is 1 and 3 year appointments, we're going to pass over those for this meeting. And again, I would just reiterate, everybody who is either an employee, an elected official, or an otherwise appointed or official within the town needs to do a yearly acknowledgement and has to take the biannual training. It's new this year. There are 2 separate trainings, one if you are a state employee and one if you are a municipal employee. We have some folks that do both, and before, if you had the training as a state employee, you didn't need to do the municipal training. I'm told that you do have to do it. If you're employed in another municipality, you don't have to do it again here as an elected official. But if you work for the state, that ethics training does not qualify. There's quite a few important differences and acknowledgements that you have to make. So we'll revisit those at the next meeting. Year-end transfers, there are none for this meeting. So we're at number 12, which is to discuss senior center expansion committee. So if you folks want to.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Sure.
We're here I have two requests. One, to start the committee, building senior center expansion. We've got some great volunteers sign up for it. And we have Mike Amendola.
Elena?
Mandalia is the
Elena.
way, it doesn't sound like it's spelled, but that's the way he pronounces it. So,
Elena.
Dana, myself, David, Dave, the police chief, Peg, and Lonnie Kinney. All accepted. Your approval.
okay,
We are going to probably add a couple of more names also.
Yeah.
We're just in that.
well, I think all these folks are key, but I think the police chief, Dave Kersey, is key because he's been through this
That's
before.
right.
Because he went through the same process with the police station. And I actually discussed it with him because my question was, do we really need to create a building committee before we have funding? And because, we put funding out there for an architect, right?
Yes, thank you.
But then the next question is, how are we going to pay for this? And what the chief told me was that they created a committee. I guess you could almost call it a steering committee or a feasibility committee, but they called it a building committee. Basically to investigate the process and come back and report to the board, to the select board, throughout the whole process. So that's why he thought it was a good idea and they asked about it. So I wanted to bring it up for discussion. So do either of you have any questions or?
I guess I do have a question that's more a matter of process. So if we do form this committee, typically for committees, people need to send a letter to the town clerk and the select board to ask to be appointed to a committee. So I don't know if that is a step that needs to be done.
I
If we're gonna create a committee, we do need to formalize that with Ellen.
Right.
Right.
I think-
So before we can add, I think, right, step one, form the committee and then, but possibly not have
Members, yeah.
members of it yet.
Well, I think you're right. And that's why I put it on here as a discussion.
Right.
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 So I think what I would request is that each of you, send an email and I would send it to the select board
Mhm.
and also copy the town clerk. She keeps records of everything. And it may be that, I don't know if they would need to be sworn in or not, but she'll keep record of it. And then what we'll do is once we have a formal written request, electronic one from each one of these people, then at the next meeting, we'll do a motion and we'll formalize the committee. Does that sound?
Yeah, I'm just also curious, do we need to, I see the reference to Providence Street development here as well.
Well, it's Jack Hunter.
Right, I'm just saying, I look at this and I say to myself, could this committee play a broader role? In terms of, 'cause that feels like we're gonna try to do some leveraging of costs, engineering, things like that across the two. And I'm wondering if we can create a broader committee to look at a campus, and this doesn't necessarily change the design or the focus on the building or the timeline of the building. But do we structure this in a way that we're actually going to look to create kind of like the town hall campus effort? It wasn't just the town hall.
Mhm.
It was the parking, it was the plants, it was, the adaptive reuse of the library. There might be an opportunity to look at this more broadly without hindering progress, which I know is top of mind for you. So that's a preemptive strike on my part.
Well,
That's a good point.
But I just think about Senator Fatman and saying if you did a senior center expansion that included some level of housing, affordable housing, age restricted housing, which sounds like Providence Street might be going down that path.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we're at, but I think-
Yeah,
No,
Ann-
but I'm just
Ann
saying if
said
we
no one-
create the
She didn't get any bids.
single project.
well, but what you reference is that, we wanted to do some affordable housing and put out
Yes,
a request for proposals and didn't get any. And Jack Hunter and CMRPC have been looking at people they thought would. to see why they didn't get proposals and what, you know, what the parameters need to be to do so. And I've already talked to one additional builder in town, who said he would be interested.
I had a conversation with Jack. It sounds like they might actually be ahead of the curve in terms of actual execution if some of this feedback comes to fruition.
And the other piece of this is I did speak with our congressman's office. And although, and what she told me was that there was money available for infrastructure, but not money available for a senior center. But we meld the two, like we're discussing right here.
Think about the, just the land that's preserved for passive recreation behind that area.
Yep.
Walking trails. And I'm not talking like, I'm talking like boardwalk walking trails.
Right.
That you could actually
You have nice-
access from the senior center.
Right.
You know, some
Community
more
use
outside access. So more of a broader development effort where you break it down, but you frame it in a way that it's a single effort. So if we have those conversations and we're looking for grants, it's a broader development effort.
I think money from state and federal is probably easier. Anywhere we can.
So
So this,
do
like,
you-
this committee might be maybe a broader effort to look at it.
do you envision like a different name for the committee to encompass more of those explorations?
I think you have to. That doesn't mean that this phase is not the senior center expansion going down a timeline on its own.
I think it's a committee that's operating multiple projects, but in synergy.
Yeah.
So you, the surveys, the studies, funding from the state, you could look.
Right, and I was just thinking about the meeting we were at for the stormwater
Mhm.
meeting
Yes.
here. And you heard a lot about the committee that drove this campus development. And it was a nice cross-section of town volunteers, but they actually had multiple different projects that are coming to fruition under the guise of the campus.
I had, in that same vein, you know, that was one of the areas that suggested that there could be some kind of a water supply there, public water supply. And I received a call, I think it was from DEP today, that, and I'm not sure if it was our town administrator or the planners or, you know, our state rep and state senator, but there's $100,000 earmark of ARPA funds, state ARPA funds that are going to be given to Mendon for water and sewer studies. And she just needed to know who to send the paperwork to sign it so they could send us the money. Which we'll take all of that we can get.
To join our
Yeah.
committee
Well-
because, you know, she was very active with
Right.
the other piece of land.
Well, she'd be absolutely fine.
Okay.
Someone. But I think it's a good way to go. I always thought we should gain synergy. in everything we did. And as soon as I heard about 52, I'm saying, I thought, we need a survey, we need a well, we need a system, even though they're independent.
Right.
They can't
Right.
be the same.
But it would be,
They couldn't be the same surveyor, the contractor, we already know we
Right.
need land to be able to handle the sewage, the flow, the nitrogen flow.
I mean, at the very least, it seems like there should be a lot of communication between the efforts at all stages.
Maybe an this steering committee concept, which I like the term like that you use for a steering committee, could provide guidance on both and drive that synergy at the appropriate points.
That would be good.
And it might just require a few more people.
I know it's gonna
Yeah.
take more people. We need people with a lot of different expertise. I mean, Dave is fantastic because he just did the building. In fact, we had gone through a walkthrough and we looked at the people who were on his committee. You know, some of them don't live in town anymore, whatever. But,
I think, yeah, Dave is, I think he's fantastic.
yeah,
And he probably has some of the kid.
And what
I
did you
spoke
wanna
to him
ask about,
twice
Joe?
today about it. So again, the way I'd wrap this up is just ask your committee members to please send an email to the board with their interest and copy the town clerk
Helen, yeah.
on it. Okay,
All right,
And I don't think this prevents people from meeting informally. They would not
No, not
yet
at
be
all.
on a formed committee, because I know
Right.
there had been some discussion of trying to meet soon, and I don't think that the momentum needs to stop, but the process needs to be followed.
yes, it does. And
So,
and
yeah,
we'll be
so I
sure to do it right. We don't have experience in this, as you can tell.
And the other thing is, and we probably don't need him. Hunter or skill of Jack Hunter. I know you contract. Contract. Funded by the select board.
For Jack Hunter? Yeah, it's a town planning project, so he'll be in.
Well, I think if you pull Providence Street into it, which is a big focus of his, that's probably.
That's right.
natural leverage point.
I think he'd want to. I think he would have gone.
I've already joined Ann's committee.
Yeah.
Stuck on that. She's keeping me in the loop there, so.
Oh, for the 52. Oh, excellent. Yes,
I've watched the
yes.
board myself, but yeah, I can do it.
yes.
So I joined that one. Jack and I've gone before, so. Got it. Just like that.
Well, thank you for your time and also for your advice. We'll take it.
So are we officially forming the
No,
committee?
what we're gonna do is let them, we're gonna take this offline and discuss it with council and
Okay,
find out, and then in 2 weeks, we'll,
okay,
If Ann
Okay.
does have a committee for Providence Street,
Mhm.
and then we're set, maybe bring these two committees together at the
Yep.
same meeting to say, do we
Right.
have overlap and should we be?
We can save dollars.
And I'll get the
Excellent.
letters into you guys.
terrific. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Good evening.
13 and 14 and 15 were requested by the Board of Assessors, but they're away at training, so they've asked to be moved to the next meeting. So we'll be passing over those. So at this point, we'll be going into executive session. We will be returning to open session. I see that Jason Cooter is
Yes.
here. Jason, are you far away, or do we need to set up a separate room virtually? Maybe he's just listening. All right, well, I move to enter into executive session under purpose 2 pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiation with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, the fire chief.
Second,
So we have roll call vote, Morale, aye.
Brugos, aye.
Goddard, aye?
Cooter, aye, if I can do that remotely.
Yes, you may. All right, everybody, we'll be back shortly. Chief, can you just shut that door for me? Just shut the door for me. Thank you.
Doing it out, so. So is Karis not able to join us?
No, I talked to her today.
Okay,
You know, the last piece was, you know, she just, you saw the email, and she called me today. She's working on, she got a lot of things going on, but she said she didn't feel like she needed us, you know, this was the
Right,
copy
yeah, she-
of our meetings and
right,
discussions.
yes.
So I do have hard copies here, but the reason I sent it, so you could look it over.
Okay.
And we can talk about any questions, but, can we just get everybody else out of there? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm putting Jason.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, or I can grab a link from chat or something.
Can't see.
All right, Jason, you're being moved.
All right.
Okay. One second. Assign button, okay. We don't need to sign any more participants. Okay, click tab more. No, the insurance and meeting on hold. Be sure to click the tab the resume button. Okay, so. These folks should be on hold.
The other option is to have Jason just call my cell, and I'll turn my cell on.
You do that if you would like.
But should you do the drop down on rooms at the top?
I did that. Yes.
And open
You can also just pull up a chat window, type my name in and start a video chat with me, and we can just switch over that way.
Oh, wait a minute, I just. People to their assigned rooms. Okay, so he's in the meeting and nobody else is.
And we gotta go to room one.
Now we gotta go into his room.
Seriously. There we go.
Piece of cake, see that? Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Chief, you want to come on up too? And so, as you're aware, we met a few times and went back and forth about these two contracts. We had, if you're wondering what the discussion was, we had originally talked about, because of the way that the year and the fiscal year falls, changing these, but then we went back and forth and just said, we're just gonna keep it the way it is. So it was unanimous vote to give these two contracts the way that we wrote them. So we've agreed, and you're in agreement with these contracts, correct? So I would be looking for a motion. Is Jason? Come on, right? 2 minutes.
Yep, I'm walking up the stairs in a minute.
Okay, all right, we can
And he's
wait.
still hooked up.
Technology is great, right? So Chief, did you see many tornadoes on your last swing out west?
We didn't see many tornadoes. On the last one, I'm not even sure that we saw one. We chased probably 3/4 of the days, but tornadoes are pretty scarce. Although this week, they're starting to catch it.
Is
I
that
was
right?
out there on that, the day that Perryton, Texas got hit. I don't know if you caught that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I was supposed to be in that area, but I let myself get lured east of there. But I don't know that I would have been around the backside anyways. But yeah, it's the end of last week just started it for that season. There's quite a few today as well, smaller ones, but.
That's the sound of him getting appointed.
And Brendan Chanel is on a business trip. He really didn't want to miss this, but he didn't have a choice. So, so at this point, I guess I'd be looking for a motion to appoint Jason Bagna as deputy fire chief and approve both of these contracts all.
I move to appoint Jason Bagma to deputy fire chief and fire chief per the contracts.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Congratulations and
Very much.
and welcome.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Is there a signature? I didn't see a signature page on these. But, why don't you, well, we can. It's on the camera in your appointment, so. Congratulations. And do you want to take a picture? All right, why don't you guys? Oh, they can get in the picture too if they, but we need somebody to take the picture. Not gonna be a selfie. Get somebody to take a picture.
Big cozy.
Sure.
Throw that in there.
Okay.
This is not good.
Split between the two sides.
So you guys, why don't you jump on the stage and get on this? Get on this on the second floor. Second. Second. You don't want to get hurt. No.
No good way of doing this, so it's gonna be Sunday. Oh, wait, hold on. There you go. Wow. That was great.
It's the Chiefs is on silent. All the angles.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Was that it?
Are we,
Nothing else on there. We just,
Oh.
and our
So-
next meeting will be in 2 weeks on July 5th.
Okay. And so we're passing over the,
Yeah,
Interim.
the interim town administrator, we're still waiting for background checks to be done.
Okay.
Talked to the police chief
okay,
today, and it should be done in the next couple of days. So we
Okay.
may, you know, we can schedule a meeting to get that done, which I definitely will.
right, okay.
do it off cycle?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's worth, if we can.
Oh, right, yeah, we don't want to, right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I don't know if it has to be hybrid, it can be remote or, but we'll figure it out.
Okay,
We'll figure it
All
out. So motion adjourned?
So moved.
second.
Favor?
That'd be, sorry, you want to second this one?
Well, we're all done. Thank
All
you
right.
very much. And,
We need to vote on it? No,
we did.
oh, we did, oh, okay, all right, good.
Unanimous.